Olivia stumble upon some music playing, a voice is heard behind a door. They think it's Soren, so opening it, it's revealed to be a jukebox playing a recording of. But it turns out they were just frustrated and they still had to look around the room. And they gotta look for some clues, all, Scooby-Doo style, only without the talking dog. Though I think Atzel's pretty much the equivalent, but while they were, listening to the rest of the recordings, one of the recordings talks about Soren making a suit that makes him look like an Enderman. And Jesse later finds what appears to be like a prototype of the finished suit. So he wears that. Well, he finds some blueprints in the chest, and it turns out these blueprints are actually used to teach the Endermen. So they need to collect 5 clay bricks from inside the room, and they need to use the Enderman suit, the prototype one, to go outside and take the 6th brick from an Enderman. This causes the Enderman to get triggered, and much like a person in Gary, almost fire a couple shots off if Endermen had firearms. But
Wait, you know who it sounds like, Jordan?
who? Who?
Whine and cry. I mean, it's filled my social media feed for over a week now, but that's what you guys do, is whine and cry.
Jesse is an asshole. Okay, let's keep going.
So, acting quickly, Jesse completes the recipe, and he gets knocked out by another person in an Enderman suit. And, of course, it's Soren the Boren. And, he feels suspicious at first, but he recognizes the order, when Jesse has the amulet. Agreeing to help Jesse, with the whole Witherstorm dealio. He gives him a farewell song, which I believe resembles the recording that we heard earlier.
Whoa.
Damn it, Zach, damn it.
Whoa.
What?
You know what I just realized?
What?
Soren, the Boren, is a great dude. You know how great he is?
How great.
He's so great that he gets hate when he's not supposed to get hate. You know who thinks of?
Why am I still getting hate? Why am I still getting hate? Why am I still getting hate? Why am I still getting hate?
But yeah, he's about to sing a farewell song, which resembles something equivalent to the recording.
Oh yeah.
Good thing we're editing this.
Whoops. I failed my job as the tech guy. My bad.
Yes, the classical, the farewell songs, and it's all sung to his Enderman. Now, before the rest of the group enters, Gabriel or Petra and Soren is happily to meet/reunite. Of course, he's happy to meet Petra, cool person, but he is happy to reunite with Gabriel. But their celebration is cut short when the Nigga men teleport into the house. Much like Gary. So Zach, would you like to take over?
Well, yes, I would, Jordan. So, they leave the house, and Endermen are everywhere in the end. And with Soren the Boren's tips, Jesse learns to break the fountains to repel them with water. With the end flooded, the group leaves for the overworld. But back in the overworld, the group, they're welcomed by the hostile enemies who broke free from the mob grinder. Because, well, it exploded and it broke, and, well, now they have no defense. Soren didn't actually construct a formidabomb. He just knows of the ingredients and how to do it, because if you put the ingredients together, it could be highly unstable and can explode when put near each other.
Hmm.
So pretty much
Sounds about right. Sounds like a
to
feminist to me.
defend off the hostile enemies, he summons iron golems. Golems. I don't know. Uh,
It's golems.
golems. And they
Golem.
get the gunpowder and the super TNT, the ingredients of the formidable bomb. And the
And they
other men
shove
have
them in
teleported.
the Witherstorm's ass.
I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Um, they use a set of minecarts to escape and head back to the surface. Upon arriving, they see Magnus and Illigard, and they help assist the group with the hostile enemies. Hostile enemies. Now,
Tangos. Enemy tangos.
eventually they see that the enemies are running away, but they don't know why. All of a sudden they look up, it's the Witherstorm. And as the Witherstorm approaches, Ellegaard and Magnus request that Jesse take their set of armor. Now Jesse decides to choose, and well, we made him choose Magnus. So after he does that, he creates the Formidabomb. And once he does, he throws it to the Witherstorm just before it explodes, and then after the explosion, it's dead. Or so we think. And whoever armor you took dies because, well, they have no armor, and now you're an ass because you killed them. And so,
Yeah.
why am I still getting hate? Anyways, so then from one of the Witherstorm's attack, and so then the survivors kind of just pop up out of nowhere, and you realize at that point that the Witherstorm wasn't completely destroyed, and it actually came back in 3 pieces now. And so, um, basically
That's
at that point,
interesting.
um, whoever is part of your crew, Gabriel/Petra, will show up to assist you, but because they're not feeling good, they got to go to a safe area. Or no, it's the other one. Yeah, not the
Yeah,
one that was in
whatever
your
you
group
don't
originally,
pick.
but it's the other one. Uh, they have amnesia and have forgotten everything. What a great episode.
Hmm.
10 out of 10.
Now, what concerns me is if you pick to save Gabriel and he stays with your group a majority of the time. Do you know how weird that would be? Because it's like you bonded with Petra, and it's like Gabriel's not even in the future episodes, so it's just like weird now that you think about it.
Maybe there's a reason behind it. Dun dun
Turns
dun.
out you can actually have him in the future episodes.
It was a cheat code all along. Oh man, what have I
Soren the
done?
Born. So
Soren
I
the
believe we're
Boring.
in
Are we
which
actually in
one is
episode
this?
4 finally?
Yeah, I know.
Man, this is like when we actually recorded the episodes.
It looks like we're on a cock and a hard place. I like how
What?
we're just not even gonna acknowledge that what I
Yeah,
said.
it's okay. Okay, did you want to start off the
So
episode?
uh
Do you want me to start
yes.
it?
So they return, to like a cave. They retreat to a cave before, they head off. Gabriel or Petra, whoever was trapped in the Witherstorm, their memories begin to come back, allowing them to remember certain events. They talk about how they felt insanely scared, and they also claim that they've seen people wearing the same Ocelot jacket that Lucas was wearing, and it turns out that Lucas's gang may have survived. Lucas is, happy about that, and he kind of wants to search for him. Now, depending on how you treated him in the previous episode, he may either admit that he became friends with Jesse or say that he did not have a great relationship with the gang. Jesse can either let him leave to find his friends, convince him to stay, or leave him on bad terms. Now, Magnus or Ellegaard, whoever did not take the armor from, the one who lived, mourns over the death of the person who died, while Soren the Born complains about being emotional and is getting them nowhere. And it's almost like he starts to wonder why. Zach, the clip. The clip.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just playing.
It's like,
No, I know. There was a reason for that delay.
Hey, why am I still getting hate? Why am I still getting hate? Why am I still getting hate?
I wanted
okay,
to I
so
wanted to build up the delay just to make it even better.
while the weather sickness is slowly taking over Gabriel / Petra, they they may be told, by you to stay behind the rest. Petra either shoos Ruben off or tells Ruben that she needs to be alone. Ruben leaves the cave, sadly. You can go talk to Ruben. You can tell Ruben that the group is cracking and that the Order of the Stone is a failed project, much like my school projects, and that the world is depending on them, much like my school projects. Outside the cave, Soren the Boren engaged in an argument with Ivor about the wither storms. Ivor reveals that the wither storms are actually following the amulet, because he programmed the targeting system. And he didn't realize that Jesse had the amulet in his hands. He apologizes for the trouble he's caused. Instead, he created a failsafe, and that is using an enchanted book to enchant a weapon and destroy the command block while letting the Endermen dismantle the wither storms. Accepting the idea, the group head off to Ivor's laboratory,
Laboratory.
located in the far lands, in order to get the magical book of knowledge, also known as the Bible.
No.
Meanwhile, Assel and Mana / Eligard, whoever Jesse didn't
Wait.
take the armor from.
Wait. Okay, this is just me acknowledging this, but at first it did not seem like you said Axel. It seemed like you said asshole.
I did.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
That was intentional.
Good. I'm great.
Oh shoot. Fuck. I think I logged out of the thing. Okay, okay. Okay, so, they split up and, well, they split from the main group and they go to Soren's fortress. Well, the distraction group, which is not your group. The distraction group goes to the fortress, to lure the Witherstorm in, and you go to Ivor's Farland laboratory, where his research area is at. After a long journey, I decided to take a rest in a swamp. I will have to say though, the intro for this one was really, really long, and you just kind of sat there looking.
Yeah.
So, you go to a swamp, try to find some food. What's funny is the fact that 2 seconds later you could just run to the lab, yet they still stopped for food when they were pretty much at their destination. I can't get over that.
Look out! I think Moto Moto likes you. Here he comes.
I like 'em big. I like 'em chunky. I like 'em big.
Because they were in
I
a
don't know
swamp, you get
why.
it? They were in a
Oh,
swamp.
yeah, I guess.
And they're trying to eat the cake, trying to make them fat.
I didn't
And
get
most
to
of them-
that part yet.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get there eventually, though.
Yeah, so you basically find some potatoes before you find the witch's nut with the cake adorning the window.
You said nut.
Ivor warns him or her that witches hate trespassers and bitches.
Bitches ain't
Jesse is
shit but
given
hoes
options.
and
You can either go back and warn the group, or you can sneak into the witch's nut and take the cake. If the player chooses to steal the cake, they can take the cake as well as a potion of leaping before the witch arrives back at the nut, attacking Jesse with potions, but Ivor mysteriously disappears. Likewise, if they choose to return to the group with potatoes and warn them about the witch, The witch still attacks, but this time Ivor stays behind to distract them. Jesse and the group barely escape, and Soren welcomes them to the edge of the world, and the group is immediately confronted by a maze built by Ivor that, for some reason, Zack has issues with. He has like
Dude, it's like
PTSD.
PTSD every time I think of the maze. It's like that was
It
something
wasn't
that
that bad of a maze.
when I think of this maze, it just annoys the hell out of me.
It wasn't
And
even that bad of a maze.
it's annoying. You say it's not that bad, but it was bad.
It was not
And
that bad.
this is what I think of. Every time that maze, I was on that maze, this is the only song that played in my head.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Lick on these nuts and suck the dick. Get the fuck out after you're done. And hop into my ride and make a quick run. Bitches ain't shit.
Maze ain't shit. Now, anyways, okay. Should I take over on this episode narration? What was that?
And I just figured I just need to talk. I just need to fucking talk.
I don't know what this is.
Taking clips out of context to make it say something that I'm not saying. Yesterday, I uploaded a video about my girlfriend getting naked, and the video goes fucking viral. It is on the front
What?
page of fucking and now people are
Jesus Christ, what am I hearing? What was that?
That I'm beating my girlfriend, which is true. I even have my girlfriend testify that that's true. He makes claims that I'm a fucking cunt. Why?
Sword, is this you? Sword, have you come back?
I hate my fans. Why? That I went on a show.
Sword, it's okay. We love you still. Ah, he's a pissed off William Shakespeare. What can I say? Okay, here we go.
Okay, sorry for that
No, you're
distraction. It was supposed to be your meme, but all I cope with fine now. No.
It still made it great. It was actually, if not better, than the one I had. All right, here we go. So you can either choose to enter the maze or look for another way. What we chose the maze because I thought it'd be okay, and it really wasn't. Zombies still appear either way, and you're forced to retreat to the top of the maze wall. So you can use the potion of leaving to get to the top of the wall.
You gotta pull a Mexican, get to the wall.
God, Donald Trump was here. Um, so Jesse has
Hey,
to go
someone
through
liked
the.
my comment.
God.
Oh, sorry, continue.
Jesse has to navigate through the maze, and while doing that, he's fight witches and spiders because why not? Um, so pretty much once you get through the maze, you find a platform with a certain machine on there, and what this is it's a well, I don't know what you would call it. I guess at this point, I just know that you have to use redstone and slime and. My mic shut off there for a second. Um,
You good?
testing. Are we
Good?
still there?
Yeah,
Technical
you're still
difficulties?
clear.
Cool. Okay, so mom's gone, so now we can talk about our drug parties. So anyways, so you use this to get to the other side. It's like if the wall was built and the Mexicans had to get to the other side, they'd use this. And so they get to his cottage, and inside they is this the one with the puzzles? This is the one with the puzzles. Okay, so this one is also very annoying. The puzzles are very tedious at this point, and I hate them because I just got done with the maze and I was like, I don't want any more puzzles. Well, it turns out there's even more puzzles. So pretty much what you do is they have 5 items from their previous adventures, and you have to put them in order of when they happened from most or from back then to most recent. And so if the order is correct, you move on to another room, which then happens to be yet again another puzzle. And so again, tedious enough, you have to hit the buttons for the way the dragon was defeated from the Order of the Stone, but in order of how they were used. And so once Soren explains the battle, Jesse gets to go to the next door, and there happens to be ender crystals, but Soren the Boren is now Soren the Boren liar because he claims to have destroyed them, but he didn't. And you realize Soren lied. But how could that be? Well, the command block that he had was used to get rid of the dragon. So it didn't die by their eyes, but they got rid of it either way. And so, while it is half a lie, it is technically a half truth, so I guess whatever. But that's why Ivor left, because he didn't want to be in that group of cowards. Dun dun dun. And so then Ivor gets there with Jesse's group and hears Soren admit the truth. And that he only wanted to prove that the Order were false heroes using the Witherstorm, and didn't mean to lose control of it. And Jesse and his group, his posse, if you'd call them, are in shock, but they put it aside because they realize they have a greater need at that moment, and that is destroying the command block. Ivor gives Jesse a book, but not just any book, an enchantment book, in order to break this command block. He lets Jesse use it on a diamond tool of his choice, which could either be a sword, a pickaxe, or an axe. Am I correct in that statement?
You're missing a hoe.
Okay. You're
Quite
such
literally.
a... Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on.
Hold on a minute.
Hold up, a... Smoke weed every day. But anyway, so apparently I was missing the hoe.
Fucking hoe, I love it. You're such a fucking hoe, I love it. You're such a fucking hoe, I love it.
I wish we would have picked the hoe just so I could have played the song.
Oh my god. Missed
Perfect
opportunities.
me
I picked the
missed.
hoe.
A perfect me missed during our playthrough. But anyways, we took a sword because I was like, we need a sword. And so we enchanted the sword, and then we got to choose the armor that was in his cottage if we didn't also... Or, okay, so let me word this correctly. So we could either choose between the armor that we were already wearing, which was Magnus or Eligard, depending on what you picked at that time. You could either wear that or a different set of armor that was in his cottage. And we decided to take another set of armor. Man, I can't speak tonight. And so we wore that in the final battle. But I don't remember the name of it exactly because there was like 10 different names to try and remember. So for the name of it, you'll have to go back to that video. Because neither does it give me a list either. So we're just going off the flow right now. So anyways, so they also give armor to his posse, and then they head to Soren the Boren's fortress to fight the Witherstorms. Now, at this fortress, the group is greeted by Axel, or in Jordan's words, asshole, and the Endermen are apparently uh, not doing what they should technically, and that's helping rip the blocks off, but they are not having a great time doing that in a sense. And what I mean by that is, well, they just don't get it. They do it and then they don't. It's like telling your toddler to clean up his room, and he does it, but he doesn't do it. He just sits there after 5 minutes and goes, "Well, why the hell are we here? What are we doing with our lives?" And so, is a good example. Am I getting here, Jordan? Is this a good analogy?
Pretty much. Pretty much
Okay,
hit the nail on the head, or the head on the nail,
okay.
depending on which.
I just don't want to go crazy there. I feel like I was just kind of going off the rails there a little bit because close to home. But no. So, anyways, so depending on who you saved, if you saved Petra, Gabriel's gonna go and try and fight the Witherstorm alone, and of course that's what we had to happen because, well, you know, we decided to take a different route than well the previous players that have played this that I've talked to. Hint, hint. So, and the other one who is still alive out of the Magnus Eligard combo, they ran off to fight it too, and Ivor runs after Gabriel. So all you have left is Soren, and well, when you get inside to like try to provoke the Enderman to go after the Witherstorm, Soren the Boring gets scared and runs away because William Shakespeare ain't about that shit. So, um,
Would you
you
like me to
use.
take over?
Oh, I guess I'm sorry. I was getting kind of into it, but yeah, you can go ahead.
So, sorry. Where do we leave off?
Oh, we left off with the Soren the Boring taking off.
Okay. I thought we were at the Enderman part, but yeah. Runs off like a coward, and if Gabriel, if you saved him, Ivor runs after him, and the Endermen are then able to remove, blocks from the Witherstorm, rip them off, much like in Gary, Indiana, you park your car once, there goes your engine, someone already took it, and then so you gotta create a hole. Well, they create a hole, and you go inside the hole. Sounds a bit like this,
Oh, that
and the
sounds like
group
Good
uses
Friday
all the
night.
items. And the group uses all the items that they have to create an invention that will help Jesse get inside. Now you can either choose, and I actually found this portion of the game to be fun. You can choose to make a TNT launcher, a rocket minecart, a flying machine, or if you snuck into the witch's hut, you remember how I told you, Zach, you could have got a potion?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have used that potion of leaping, and
Well, sorry, we used a
if you
potion
stay
of
silent.
leaping.
Oh, and also if you stay silent, either Olivia or Petra will suggest that they create a Reuben launcher.
Oh, we should
However,
have stayed silent.
Axel slash Petra is caught in the tractor beam, and it takes the whole group to pull them down. If Jesse lets Lucas leave the cave, Lucas returns with the Ocelots to distract the Witherstorm with rockets. So, like, if you let Lucas leave, he actually gets his friends to help you launch rockets to distract the Witherstorm, but if you get him to stay, he just helps you alone. Oh, and if you leave Lucas on bad terms, he does not come back. So, cool decision making. The group builds the invention, whichever works, launching Jesse and Ruben into the Withered Storm. You find the withered people eventually, and you eventually find the command block, surrounded by hentai tentacles. Jesse uses the, masterful enchanted dildo, and the command block begins to crack under the intense ecstasy. Oh god, I can't say it. Insert, better word. Uh, but the hentai tentacles grab him slash her and force him slash her to drop, her weapon. Ruben grabs the weapon, Does some weird Naruto ninjutsu run and delivers it to Jesse somehow. But he is knocked out by the Wither Storm. Jesse finishes off the command block once and for all, causing it to explode. And it turns out back on the ground, he finds a gravely injured Ruben who couldn't aim for shit in the water. Like, literally, he had a whole pool of water and he hits the
You
land.
leave him alone. He's done enough.
Eventually, he dies, and get this,
Wait,
he turns into a pork chop.
ready? Okay, so I have something to tell you. Okay, so Reuben, in memory of him,
Who can say where the road goes, where the day
for
flows?
Reuben.
Only time. Who can say if your love grows as your heart shows?
Well, after he gets turned into a pork chop, aka my dinner, a week
Damn.
later, back at. Oh, I love the name of this town. It's so. You want to know how stellar it is?
Yeah.
Beacon Town.
Whoa.
Beacon Town.
That's crazy.
Beacon Town.
It
Oh yeah, they
sounds like
make
you're
it a
saying Bacon
memorial.
Town.
It's even better considering Ruben is got a memorial there.
Yep.
Gabriel and Petra recovered from the sickness and amnesia. Gabriel. Oh shoot, my door just opened.
Hello?
Yeah, just Cthulhu. Gabriel may be told by Jesse to reveal the Order of the Stone were entirely frauds, and or you can keep the secret. You give a good speech. Everyone congratulates on you and the new group. Gabriel establishes them as the new Order of the Stone for defeating the Witherstorm, and the group head off to their next adventure to go kill some innocent people. To rescue the helpless innocents.
Bum, bum, bum. Dun-dun-dun. So, that is the. Before we continue, that is technically the last episode of the main story, but not the last episode of the base episodes.
Oh,
And
you want to know something funny, Zach?
what's that?
If the player is getting on the horses, they can see Madness even if he died in episode 3.
Magnus is a ghost confirmed?
Yeah, there's just a bunch of goofs and errors. But yeah, continue with what you were saying.
So, what we discovered was that, yeah, this was the last episode of the main story, but not the base episodes. But the base episodes was 1 through 5, and the fifth episode was more of a, I guess you'd call it like a prelude into the DLC episode, which is 5 through 8 are portal jumping, and the fifth one it basically like shows them getting their enchanted flint and steel and being able to do this. So the fifth one is pretty much setting it up for these DLC episodes. And so what we've come to discover is that if you played this but didn't get the DLC episodes, you were, well, we think you were missing out, but you weren't really missing any big storylines as each episode was only like the episode long. It
It was
didn't
its
continue
own
after
story.
that.
It was
Yeah,
its own storyline, but it actually felt a little bit more gratifying because you didn't have to worry about build up. It was
right.
like yeah, they were more like short stories, but personally, I think they're some of the best ones. Like a lot of, my top episodes came from those 4 episodes. So like,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed them. I thought a lot of them were good. And that's mostly because I like teleporting. I mean, who doesn't?
So we wanted to bring that up before we get into these episode reviews because it may sound confusing why they decided to just jump from 4 to a different storyline in 5 and only be 1 episode left, but there was a reason behind it because I was confused as well when I first started it. So um, there is a
You didn't.
reason for why they did it the way they did, and I kind of like the way that they went about it. And so um, let's go ahead, let's get started. We'll do episode 5, and then
How many
After episode
episodes did you think there were originally, before you started playing?
before I started playing this,
Yeah.
um, probably like 6, I'd say,
Hmm.
of like the base, and then like I did know there were some DLC episodes, but I didn't know how many, so I just assumed that there was like 6 because or no, because each Telltale game has 5 episodes pretty much. So yeah, I did think there was 5, but I didn't know if there's any DLC or not. That is what I was wondering. And then when I bought the game, it did say like the complete adventure. So at that point, I just assumed there was DLC because that who says complete adventure as a tagline under the game when there's already like the title there. So I just assumed at that point that there was DLC. I just didn't know how many episodes there were. So I didn't even know about this game.
So,
I'll be completely honest until I went and bought it. So
yeah. Same here.
but
Personally, I enjoyed it, but we probably should get into this review.
yeah, no, yeah. Let's so
So,
episode 5 pretty much establishes the New Order of the Stone and their adventures. And the New Order of the Stone is now Jesse, Asshole, Petra, and Olivia, and Axel's Unibrow as the side character. So
no, that's not the side character. That's the protagonist.
his unibrow survived for everything, and that's how they kept living. If it would have burned off, they would have died. So pretty much, they end up at a temple when they're eager to find a treasure that Ivor told them about, because Ivor is also a treasure hunter. I don't know if that was established in the previous episodes. Probably was, but I want to reiterate that statement. And so they pretty much go all Indiana Jones slash Laura Croft slash Nathan Drake slash any treasure hunter slash cheesiness.
Slash Indiana Jones slash porn star slash uh Minecraft.
Minecraft. Get out of my room, Mom. I'm playing Minecraft. Um, so they also then are faced with a lava puzzle, which took me a little bit to understand what door was 1 and what was 3, but once I did, it was easy. So I mean,
You
the
and the
setup,
puzzles.
the
Between the
puzzles aren't
puzzles
bad,
and the mazes.
but the
Good
puzzles
thing we're
weren't
not getting
bad.
Gmod maps.
Right, but the thing was, is that the only puzzle I really had an issue with was the maze, and that was only because I went in that area and forgot to actually go forward, and that's what caused it to take so long. Because I was there, I just didn't go forward, and I was like, oh yeah, this will be fine, and so I went around to try and do it again, and then once you went to it, I was like, well, shit, I didn't realize it was there. Like I was already there, but everything else was fine when it came to puzzles. I mean, we got to figure it out eventually in each one, so that one just sucked. Um,
Yep. So we
so
probably should get started.
so pretty much, they go downstairs.
The new world.
Sorry, my throat's really dry right now. Um, they go downstairs
So
and they find the treasure. And what it is it's a cake, but the cake is a lie, so watch out for that. A pumpkin, even though it's not Halloween, but the main treasure was an enchanted flint and steel. And they try it out, and it illuminates the entire basement. Um, and they barely escape with a quote unquote secret handshake, which could be one of the following: the warrior whip, the redstone wrap, the griefer grab, or the building bump. And this helps them escape. And I don't know why they had to call it the quote unquote secret handshake, because we know that they just build up and they left. So,
It actually changes depending on what your secret handshake is.
no, I know, but still, let's be honest here. We knew how they were going to get out no matter what. The,
Normal redstone wrap was pretty cool.
the builder bump was awful. We did that one just because that was the secret handshake from the first episode. And I was like, I'll keep it going. Continuity is pretty good.
You just literally made an L shape around them.
Right, and then it was like, okay, well that wasn't that cool. So then they barely
Builder
escape.
bump more like a builder pain.
They barely escape from the temple because the stairs catch on fire as they're running up. And they go to Ivor, talk to him about it, because they're like, what the hell is this? But on their way back, they're interrupted by the Pussy members, or otherwise known as the Ocelot members. Uh,
Two
I shouldn't
awesome
say it like
bitches.
that because it makes it sound like they're porn stars. Anyways,
Hmm.
so pretty much these members are it's supposedly Aiden, but it looks like it's Aiden just because of Beyond Two Souls. So we're gonna go with Aiden here.
No, it's
Um,
Aiden. We don't want to disgrace the Aiden.
no, that's true because Aiden was yeah. So no spoilers here. That's right. Um, Aiden, Maya, and Gil, who are the members, and they pretty much kicked out Lucas for his involvement with the New Order of the Stone. And now instead of being called the Ocelots or the Pussies, they're now called the Blaze Rods, which again,
Or
not much better than the
the
Pussies.
Blaze dildos.
Man, they just giving them porn star names. They talk smack about the Order, as well as Lucas. Again, because Lucas was friends with us, and because they helped us out, and instead of helping him out, yeah, Aiden's just an asshole. It says basically that pretty much they take the treasure for themselves and they don't give anybody else a chance, and that they threaten the Order to give them the enchanted flint and steel. And after Jesse so courageously threatens to fight them, they run off. So they go back to Beacon Town, and they're welcomed by the townspeople who adore them now. And as they're walking through everybody, they see Ivor uh, building a lava house that is deemed, quote unquote, deemed, quote unquote, how can I stress this enough? Deemed unsafe by fellow citizens, but is it really? Let's be honest.
It seems pretty safe. I mean, like,
Right.
if
That's why I'm
you
saying they
accidentally
deemed
fall
it
into it,
was.
it's just, if you accidentally end up dead, I mean, it's more of your fault than anything. I mean, natural selection and all.
See, that's the funny part is that's why I keep trying to stress the deemed part because no one has actual research that this was going to kill them. So they had no right to try and take it down because Ivor should be free to build what he wants. And so that's why we let Ivor have the house because it was not anybody's decision except mine and his. So he thanks us, and then pretty much Petra lets him know that about the enchanted flint and steel, and Ivor gets really excited, like he just saw a certain site, and he agrees to meet them in the order hall. And so they meet Lucas in the order hall, and when they're there, they pay respect to Reuben because Reuben's a badass, and they, or I should say, Lucas, not Jesse, tells him, Lucas tells Jesse about Aiden and how he took over the new founded Blaze Rods. Again, not that much better than the Ocelots. And Jesse then pulls out the enchanted flint and steel to show it to Ivor, and Ivor uh, just kind of appears suddenly and he scares everybody because he reveals that the enchantment on the flint and steel is made by the old builders. Like the old builders such as Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. And so they're a group that existed even before the older Order of the Stone, which was again the main storyline warriors. And so it can lead them to the Eversource, which is a treasure that is supposedly possessed by the old builders who built the temple that the flint and steel was recovered at. And it's supposed to be believed as a treasure artifact that gives them an endless supply of materials. This is an actual quote. We are not making this up. And so they waste no time. They head back to the temple and they find a strange portal hidden in the chamber at the top of the temple that has to be lit by the enchanted flint and steel. And as they light that son bitch up, Jesse drops the flint and steel. And Aiden shows up with the blaze rods because why wouldn't they? Blaze rods are everywhere. And Aiden's like, bro, this is my shit now. I'm the captain. Look at me, I'm the captain now. And he takes it and just goes through the portal.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm the portal man now.
He go, hey, you look at me. You look into my eyes. You know what I say to you? And so then they Oh God, here it is. I was like, where did my sound bit go? I was so hoping.
The ship's broken. We had to. I'm the captain now. Let me sure. I'm the captain now.
That is an accurate representation of Aiden. Um, so they end up on an island that is close to a city known as Sky City, which for obvious reasons is in the sky. And so they are not actually allowed to build or craft, but we don't know that yet. And so because of that, we are on or an island of sorts that is very far away from Sky City, so we can't jump or try and like run off and grab the ledge or something. So they build their bridge from that to Sky City. Now, again, they didn't know that because once they get in, then they realize that building was forbidden, and that uh, they go to talk to a citizen of Sky City and tells them that the blaze rods went to an inn. And so they start going around seeing how building isn't allowed and that they want to build. They have to be approved by the founder, who has supposedly the Eversource. And
Something about burning the Jews.
there being
Normal
showers at
stuff.
certain places. I'm pretty sure I saw a train at some point. Now, they meet up with Milo, who is the...
Disclaimer, that was a joke. Like, we
Yeah,
don't want people to get confused.
yeah, no, that is... Sorry if you are offended. Uh, that was clearly a joke. I do not support Hitler or the Third Reich, so just let's keep going. Um, uh,
No guarantees for me. Nah, I'm joking.
damn, what is going on here? They meet up with Milo, who is the innkeeper of Sky City and supposedly met the Blaze Rods. Um, he is seen illegally trading sticks with another citizen of Sky City, and he tells the group that the Blaze Rods wanted to know where the Eversource was, and he told them that it was in the Sky City Palace with the founder. But before they could get information on the whereabouts of Aiden and his fuckwits, they realize there's now an emergency meeting happening. The founder appears out of nowhere, like fucking Jesus or something, and threatens to arrest the
She kind
fourth
of
floor.
looks like him too. Has like the same get up.
They're like, ah, and then basically says that they know that somebody illegally built the bridge, and they will find you and they will kill you. And so Ivor decides that he's going to get arrested because it's the fastest way into the palace, and he does turn himself in, and at that time Milo tells Jesse that he has another way to get into the palace that doesn't involve being arrested. At this point, you can either choose to go with Ivor or Milo, and we chose to go with Milo because why not? And since we are halfway through, I will turn it over to my co-commentator Jordan to explain the rest of the episode.
Sorry, my mic was off. We were at
No,
the
good.
underground drug deal, pretty much. Right?
Yeah,
So, shoot. Sorry, the thing I was looking at, kind of reloaded, so now I have to like scroll through. So we chose to leave with Milo, which I'm pretty sure has already been established. So he once was imprisoned, waste of resources kind of thing, and so the Build Club are all suspicious of Jesse's group, and they're like, hey, if you're truly builders, craft something. Now you can either make an anvil, a pair of boots, or build an iron golem to prove your abilities. And it is also revealed that Milo wishes to steal the Eversource so that people can be free of the dictatorship and, not have to board the trains. Also another joke. Milo knows that there's a unguarded window, so unfortunately it's far too high, so Jesse, you gotta craft some ladders, reach up to the window, and Milo, Jesse, and Petra head into the palace to steal the Eversource. So in the throne room, all 5 of them meet up to find the, secret entrance to the Eversource. Jesse, us make a lever. We open the secret magical door to Neverland, and you go into the resource room, and it turns out it's lined out with a chest filled with eggs that create animals, aka spawn eggs, for the intellectual Minecraft player. The group, finds the Eversource, which turns out to just be a chicken that lays spawn eggs. And it turns out all the resources come from the loot dropped from the monsters. They by the chickens. Ivor wishes to steal the chicken. Lucas wishes to leave the chicken where it is. Milo wishes to bring it to the people. Now you could choose to support one of the three, but the founder and the Blaze Dildos all show up immediately to stop you. Because they're the Blaze Dildos. They kind of do that.
Yes.
The founder blames Jesse for stealing the one thing the city needs to survive. I mean, they kind of do. I find it weird though. Like, why can't they just farm and make their houses out of wheat blocks? But whatever.
Because they not
So,
stupid. I'd stupid.
yep. So, and then Aiden reveals his true intentions to the founder. Spawns a creeper, blows a hole up in the resource room. Lucas, struggles to fight Aiden because he's a bitch. Sorry. While the founder,
You
dangles
bitch.
on the edge, is struggling. You can either choose to save the founder or help Lucas. We chose to save the founder. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, we did.
Yep. Okay, so, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, Aiden will push you off and the founder anyways. Originally, Zach thought you died. It was kind
Yeah.
of funny.
I was like, what the hell's
And,
going on?
and you will fall into the void, and if you choose to save the founder, Lucas will also fall with. It also turns out that there is land below the city this entire time, and Jesse and the founder, and Lucas, if you chose to save the founder, discover the land by falling in a pool of water. That's actually kind of lucky. Imagine if they were over a desert.
It'd be like that time when Ruben actually didn't fall in the water. Oh, wait. Oh, no.
Now that was his Ruben's fault. He could have aimed.
Damn you,
So,
killing Ruben.
um, the founder apologizes for prior issues. Nevertheless, uh, enemy mobs are falling from the sky, and it appears that the blaze rods are spawning monsters in the Sky City. Now, here's the part that I don't get is they already kicked out the founder and all that. All they had to do was play it off, and they would have been fine.
We are the. Look at us. Look at us. We're the founders now. Okay.
So you gotta make a nerd pull all the way up to Sky City. Well,
Nerd.
yep. And it discovers that the other half of the portal that brought them there is actually there. Oh, and also if you choose to save the founder, Lucas will stay behind, and it's also revealed that the founder's real name is I honestly can't pronounce it. It's Isa.
Issa.
Isa. Anyways, back at Sky City, the Blaze dildos are spawning crowds of gas and spooters and zombies. They
Spooderman.
destroy the cities. Founder says, protect the people from the monster. Jesse heads towards the palace to stop Aiden. Ivor, the bay, above all the fam, offers Jesse a potion. Now, you could choose what potion you use to get past them, which I think there was like what? There was the speed, the leaping, and the... What was...
Invisibility.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so you go past the other two members of the Blaze Dildos to meet up with Aiden. Aiden, spawns a Queeper, blows up blows up one of the guards. I forget what his name is. When he sees Jesse, and then he also spawns his two blazes to stop him. But they're killed off quickly because we're badass. And Aiden and Jesse, head into a sword fight with Jesse. Us getting the upper hand because once again we're badasses. And we knock away his sword. Um, Aiden, kind of does that whole bad guy repent thing all of a sudden when he's on the losing side, and he gives you back the enchanted flint and steel, mostly because he's afraid for his life. Now we can either choose to send him over the edge, walk away with him, walk away from him, sorry, or we can take him with. Now, we chose to send him over, but it turns out he just goes in a waterfall. Same thing happens when you walk away.
No
And
mercy.
also, unfortunately, we can't kill him. Sorry, kids game. But we were like dead. We were ready to kill him. We're like, he's too big of a threat to be left alive.
He must be dealt with.
It's like the one scene in episode 3 of Star Wars where all the Jedi show up at the end, Palpatine.
Aiden must be
Instead of saying
killed.
the Senate will decide your fate, it's like the founder will decide your fate, and Aiden just goes, I am the founder. And that's pretty much how the fight went, only we won this time. So, situations get out of control, and, being the natural person, he tells everybody to jump off the island. You know that saying, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you?
We
Well,
took that a little
now we
too
know the
serious.
answer. We know the answer. They all jumped down a waterfall. And they're surprised to see land below. I mean, at first, Hitler, I mean the founder, and Milo have a disagreement. The founder wants to reorganize, while Milo wants people to run free. You can either choose to leave which one will be in charge, or you can tell them to share the power. Aiden and the Blaze Dildos are, formally arrested, while the founder, whose, name is Hisop,
Whoops.
and, you get the crown as a gift. And the chicken's also named Benedict. Oh, also Jesse sees several pigs, and he gets, like, Vietnam flashbacks to Reuben. And,
Oh.
your group of 4 attempt to head back home using the portal that you found earlier. But instead of leading you home, turns out that portal leads to a portal network. And yeah, there's turns out to be dozens, if not hundreds of them that all look different. And with the final quote being, that's not what I was expecting. I mean, I probably should use that quote when I get a test back. So yeah, that's this episode. I guess we'll move on to the next one, which I believe is a portal to mystery, which
It
is
is.
actually one of the top episodes. We're not going to reveal our order now, but we're just saying this is actually in the top.
Okay, so.
Um, yeah, you lead on.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm a little nervous. I don't know how to do this. Um, so this is the 6th episode, and again, this is the first episode of the DLC package. Um, this is where a lot of the episodes, or not a lot of the episode themselves, but a lot of the story is contained within one episode. Um, and so this is, like I said, if for some reason you didn't get the DLC, it wasn't like it was a bad thing. There was just some story that you had missed, but it wasn't something that was major to a storyline. But I could be wrong, because I haven't played season 2 yet, and we are hopefully going to do that soon. And hopefully we don't take like 3 weeks on it like we did with this one, but uh but this is, again, yeah, this is where it starts. And actually this is a really cool episode, because not only is it like the storyline pretty cool, but it does have a lot of some infamous cameos in the episode. So let's get started. So they enter a dimension that's inhibited by zombies. And there's 2 moons in the sky instead of 1, which is kind of odd. I don't know how that works, but we'll go with it, I suppose. Because I guess there are planets with 2 moons, but we're not living on them, so whatever. Uh, Lucas is kind of worried about Axel and Olivia because they were like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out," and didn't come with us. So he's worried, and Ivor is being Ivor, and he's like, "I wonder what treasure they have in this new world. I can't wait to find it." And as they're walking, they find an invitation that's signed by an individual called the Host, inviting them to a mansion to take refuge from the zombies and have a dinner party. Jesse picks it up and he starts reading it, but as he's reading it, a lot of zombies just kind of show up out of nowhere. They make a way through the zombies and get to the distant mansion. Um, Pretty much once they get there, they have a little race, and Jesse wins the race. But once they get there, they realize the front door is blocked by the zombies, and they have to enter through a window on the second level by cutting down trees and using the wood from the trees to make stairs. Once they break the window, and they actually at this point commit breaking and entering, they arrive in the mansion's kitchen. They're met by who else but YouTuber Captain Sparkles and Torque Dog, 2 other guests who were invited to the mansion dinner. The 4 learn that the Sea of Zombies is not normal for this dimension, but the 2 moons are normal, which I would have thought was the other way around, but we'll keep going with it, I suppose. After a short conversation, the lights go out. After Torque Dog says that you have a girl's name and tries to make some funny jokes and humor out of the situation, but either fails or is commented nicely about it. The lights come back on, and it seems that Torque God, as I like to put it, is killed by an arrow trap, firing poison-tipped arrows. The lights, they did come back on, and Jesse wants to examine the crime scene. He finds that Torque Dog's inventory is sucked into a tunnel, but no one knows why. Enter in LD Shadow Lady. She comes in, like, "What's up, yo?" in a British accent, and she leads them into the main hall. And the gang is surprised to see portraits of not only them, but most of the, all the other guests in the mansion. And they also find it odd that Torque Dog's portrait now has been crossed off with a big red X. And so here comes Captain Sparkles again, because he needs to take the lead, because he's probably the most well-known out of everybody in this episode. Which is, I guess, debatable, but we'll just keep going with it.
Not anymore, though. I don't think he's as popular as he used to be.
Well, at the time of this episode, I mean, I'd still say he was pretty on top. Considering this episode was probably made in, what, I think like 2015 or 16. You don't hear much about him anymore nowadays, so you are right on that, which is kind of weird, because he was really big for a while, so... I don't know. It is weird. But yeah, back to the episode. He takes him to the dining room to meet the others in the mansion, including Cassie Rose and her cat Winslow. And you also meet Stampy Cat and Dan. You know, Dan from the Diamond Minecart. And Stacy plays. In the dining room, Jesse reveals to everyone that Torque Dog has been murdered, and he reveals that he was taken out by poison-tipped arrows. Mixed reactions go around, and the house guests start being weird and secretive. And Jesse goes around and asks questions, because, you know, let's be a detective at this point now, because we've got nothing else to do. And he starts asking these questions. And that you find out that Torque Dog was an infamous griefer and a thief, and he claimed to have a rare item. And that the groups are being very secretive and suspicious. Captain Sparkle shows up. Woohoo, he always shows up, it seems. He leaves and then just shows back up, whatever. And that whoever invited everyone to the mansion And the one who invited everybody is probably the one that killed Torque Dog, is probably after the enchanted flint and steel possessed by one of the guests. And would you have it? Jesse has one. You can either choose to show Sparkles or you can hide it. We showed him because Sparkles is a cool ass dude. Um, as Captain Sparkles tries to gathers everyone's attention, um, he and try to reveal this to everybody. He is pushed into the floor and suffocated by sand. What a way to go out. The lights go off again as he dies, and the mysterious quote unquote host of this party reveals himself to be the White Pumpkin Charlie Brown, and threatens the group that he will resort even to murder to get the enchanted flint and steel.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's already been established that it was murder.
Yeah, I don't know why they. Yeah, let's just go with it. Again, it's a kids game, but they try to keep like everything out of it that's like it's deemed too violent, but there's still violence, which makes no sense. But whatever. Cassie, Rose, and Winslow try to escape, but find that they are trapped in the mansion due to the Z zombies outside. Funny enough, we'll understand why this is interesting come in the later part of this episode. And would you have it, when they see the Captain Sparkles portrait in the next scene, in the room with all the portraits, it now has a big red X on it. And they also see that Ivor's portrait is next to Captain Sparkles, which could mean that Ivor would be next. And they promise to protect Ivor, and the way they do this is Jesse and Lucas go into the dining room to investigate to see what prompted all of this. They find a button on the table, which activated the trap and played the recording of the White Pumpkin. And that they reason that the murderer must have pushed the button to activate the trap, that the murderer was sitting at the table when the murder happened. Therefore, one of the house guests is in fact the White Pumpkin, which we kind of already assumed, because who else could it be? Judging by
Honestly, though, if I were playing in this murder, I would just have it activated, through the painting.
True. Again,
Mm.
they gotta throw easy logic at us here. They kind of assume that the White Pumpkin is a redstone engineer and a brewer that's very impressive at what they do because of the complicated traps and tipped arrows. It's revealed that there are actually multiple buttons on the table to activate the trap, and only Dan, Stampy Cat, Lizzie, which is LD Shadow Lady, and Lucas were sitting at seats that had the buttons next to them, meaning that they could be the White Pumpkin. Jesse then interrogates Dan, Stampy Cat, and Lizzie in the interrogation order of the player's choice. He, or she, depending on your Jesse, can question the three suspects about their redstone and brewing abilities, as well as their thoughts on who might have the flint and steel. It is revealed during the interrogation that Dan and Lizzie had been competing to find the enchanted flint and steel for a long time, and Dan found it first, much to Lizzie's dismay. Now, Dan claims that someone has stolen the flint and steel from him. The suspects, which are Dan, Stampy Cat, and Lizzie, answer questions about redstone and brewing differently depending on the order in which they're interrogated. Cassie Rose brings in Lucas and reminds Jesse that Lucas also had one of the buttons to activate the trap, but we choose not to question him because we know that he wouldn't do it, because Lucas is really nice and a cool-ass dude, too. So
Turns
we can
out
either
he's Aiden in disguise.
Yeah, that's why he's kicked
Who's
out,
actually
because...
Bob Ross? Who's actually Hitler? Who's actually Washington? Who's actually Zach? Who's actually Kyle? Who's pretending to be like Zach? Who's actually Zach?
Okay, something weird is going on now. Okay, it stopped. My mic was, like, acting weird for a second. It was, like, possessed.
It's
Okay,
proof.
that was weird. I wish you were here to, like, witness that. That was, My TV starts freaking out. I know there is some paranormal shit here. Alright, so...
We accidentally summoned Cthulhu.
Oh, God. So then now we have either the choice to accuse Stampy Cat, Lizzie, or Dan, or we can also choose not to accuse anyone because, well, we don't know. And I chose not to accuse anyone because I was like, I don't think it's any of these people. I think it might be Lizzie, but I'm not sure if it is or not, so we won't accuse anybody. And so if you choose to accuse Dan or choose to accuse no one, so in 2 of the 4 options, Dan's going to retreat to the library. But if you accuse Stampy or Lizzie, they're going to be locked up in the library. And Lucas stays to keep an eye just in case they try anything when Jesse's not looking. So they head to the kitchen to further investigate the trap that killed Torque Dog and took his loot. Jesse sees a suspicious painting and it has eye holes in the painting, which means the White Pumpkin spied on Torque Dog and was able to activate a trap to kill him. There's a secret passageway behind the painting, which contains a lever that again activates the trap that fires the tipped arrows. The 3 follow the secret passageway to the library, where Dan, Lizzie, or Stampy Cat is held, depending on the choice of your answer. And Jordan, I'll let you take over since it's chapter 4, and we'll keep going through the rest of the episode. Jordan, are you there?
Sorry, the mic was off again.
Oh,
Damn it.
that's
So, we went through how the eye holes were used. So, using a painting with eye holes to spy on the person in the library, and depending on the person you accuse, it's either LDS Shadow Lady, or, I messed up the name, or Diamond Minecart and they'll either visit, the Diamond Minecart, Shadow Lady, or Stampy Cat, whoever is locked up in the library, and reveal that it was actually the Diamond Minecart who pushed the button under the table. He did it by accident, and he triggered the trap that killed Captain Sparkles. I always knew the Diamond Minecart was going to kill Captain Sparkles.
dun dun
And,
dun.
you notice across the way it's White Pumpkin's also spying through a different painting, and they pull, you may make eye contact. It's as awkward as like when you go into the men's restroom and you accidentally make eye contact with the person in the stall through the crack. Just imagine that
Yeah.
scenario, and that's a bit how it was. Um,
God, the
the murderer
memories.
pulls a lever. The memory is that you actually had that happen. Never mind.
We don't talk about that.
The murderer pulls the, lever. Spiders are released. The door to the library is blocked by iron bars, and stranding all of you in a room full of spiders. You can either help fight off the spiders, or punch the painting behind and go after the White Pumpkin. If you choose to fight the spiders, you successfully kill all the spiders, and you find out that the White Pumpkin is gone, which just kind of makes sense. And you also get the question, the Diamond Minecart for killing Captain Sparkles. And then guess what? Lights go off. The White Pumpkin comes into a room with the Diamond Axe and kills either LDS, Shadow Lady, if you choose to accuse Dan, Shadow Lady, or no one. Or she kills, well, not she kills, but the White Pumpkin kills the Diamond Minecart if you choose to accuse Stampy Cap. Which I thought was interesting. Depending on how you accuse someone, actually affects who gets murdered next. Now, the murder, kind of just sweeps the inventory, how I sweep homework underneath my bed when no one's looking. Just sweeps it into a hopper. It escapes through a secret passageway. And you can also... And now, that was just the route where you fight off all the spiders. Now, if you choose to punch the painting, the White Pumpkin will actually just straight up attack you with the Diamond Axe after you remove the painting. And we actually put a slash on the pumpkin mask. Unfortunately, the LD Shadow Lady, because, we either accused Diamond Minecart, the Shadow Lady, or no one. She got killed by spiders, and the White Pumpkin, still swipes the loot. The loot, yes, the loot, the instrument. No, I'm joking. The loot, as in
Loot.
multiplayer RPGs. The thing that everyone grinds for. Loot into a hopper and escapes. Through a secret passageway. Like normal people. And before you can enter, the entrance is shut. Now, everyone else can enter, but you get to chase them down, and they try to kill you with tipped arrows in the lava trap. So, yeah, the White Pumpkin breaks into the main hall, and, Lucas joins you as you chase down the White Pumpkin. How the lights go off once again, and Lucas is left with the White Pumpkin mask in his hand. Lucas
Uh-oh.
tells Jesse that the White Pumpkin caught him and stuffed the pumpkin over his head, but all the other guests start to believe Lucas was the White Pumpkin because of, he had the button, and the murders only happened, when the gang arrived, and Cassie Rose accuses Lucas and tries to lock him up. Ivor agrees to watch over Lucas. Lucas and Petra then discover another secret passageway. After solving a puzzle, you get to find a huge empty shaft. And that's how we lead into the porno. No, I'm joking.
Bounce chicka wow wow.
Petra becomes very annoyed with, the other guests. And, you basically just remind her that you have to clear the name. So, yeah, eventually after crafting some ladders to get down the tunnel, you find some zombie spawners, which proves that the White Pumpkin created the insane amount of zombies that inhabit, the area. The passageway ultimately leads to the White Pumpkin's secret lair, where they find a farm, a sex dungeon, and turns out you grow white pumpkins. They find Stampy Cat in the lair, who reveals he has the lime green enchanted flint and steel, which he stole from, the diamond minecart. Stampy Cat wants to give the steel to the White Pumpkin in order to make everything stop. In the lair, you get to grab some ender pearls, which is how the pumpkin, used it to get down to the shaft. And you can find a chest filled with crossed-out portraits and a dozen of calico cats. There is, however, no crossed-out portrait of Cassie Rose, and the calico cats look like Cassie's cat Winslow, proving that the White Pumpkin is none other than Stampy Cat. No, I'm joking. Cassie Rose,
Whoa.
who's actually Bob Ross, who's actually Zach, who's actually
Whoa.
me, who's actually Kyle, who's actually Zach's mom, who's actually his dad, who's actually Zach.
Wait. Whoa, that took a real plot twist.
So back at the top, Stampy Cat rounds up everyone. You accuse Cassie of being the White Pumpkin, and you can prove it with evidence that she was in the main hall when Tortard's portrait was crossed out, but there was no crossed out portrait for Cassie in the lair. They also found all, the cats that look like Winslow, and if you provide enough evidence, Cassie will admit it. If he or she does not, like say you don't provide enough evidence, Stampy Cat will admit that he has the flint and steel, and Cassie will reveal her true nature. And she's revealed that she's been in this two-moon dimension for ages with the Nezet portal. Kind of talk like that once in a while. But she never had the flint and steel to activate it. So she invited everyone to find out who has it. Unlike a normal person, just asking, hey, can I borrow this? I kind of want to get home. Instead, she, does the logical thing and starts murdering everybody, because that makes sense.
I'm gonna go home and you're
have...
gonna stay here in my place.
I mean, you accidentally get lost in a building and you just want to find the bathroom. The logical explanation is to kill someone until you get directions. It only makes sense.
Exactly.
And, she eventually threatens to fight everyone, and, you ultimately end up activating one of the traps. Well, she actually ends up activating one of the traps and she drowns in the sand. At this time, sun comes out, zombies burn, along with the Jews. I mean, nothing. That was just a joke. Please don't kill me.
Hate comments. Why am I still getting hate?
Jordan in the YouTube comments, why am I still getting hate? The sun comes out, the Jews burn, the zombies burn. Jesse's gang part ways with, the Diamond Minecart, LSD Shadow Lady, what I'm calling her now, and Stoner Cat, and Stacy Gaze, as Jesse goes to light the portal. It turns out it activates a trap. They fall into the portal chamber buried deep underground, and it turns out the portal they lit was not the real one, and it turns out the real portal is buried in the portal chamber all along. It is revealed that Cassie is still alive and faked her death. Cassie has, suspended you guys over a deadly pit of endermites as a final trap, and threatens to your group to hand over the enchanted flint and steel. However, you escape with ender pearls, and you fight over the flint and steel. However, you're able to help overpower her with help from your gang, your crew, your cartel, and Cassie yet again falls into her own traps. Now, at the end, she does beckon you to give her Winslow, and you could decide whether to do so or not. With the mystery gone, you head back to the Portal Network. I did think this was a little bit brutal, and you kind of left her there to starve. Or
Right.
at least, brought her back.
Even better if you don't give her the cat, because then not only is she stuck, but now she's stuck alone.
Well, the cat doesn't live then.
Well, pretty much. They're both gonna die. Let's be honest here.
If you give her the cat can't get food, and it dies.
They're just fucked.
Pretty much.
What a great episode.
You know what else I don't get is for the fact that how easy they can mine and build. Honestly, I just keep some dirt on me. As that bridge is collapsing, just build the dirt island. Boom,
Yeah.
done. Mission accomplished. Boom, done. Dirt staircase. Boom, done.
Now we move on to episode 7.
Oh, God.
I love your rant there,
What
Jordan.
time
That
is
was great.
It's 11.
Well, do you want to continue this in another episode?
Do you think we can finish it?
Well, given the situation, we'd probably finish this around in an hour. So, because we'd probably take 20 minutes to explain the rest of the story. We'd probably take 20 minutes to explain our ranking of the episodes, and probably 20 minutes to give it the rating and the final thoughts. So, we can either end it here and then pick it up on another time, or do something else.
Do you think we should end it here?
Well, more than likely, because I know you have to get up early, and so do I, so...
Should we? Or should we just start, speed going through the plot? It's
Right. Episode 7. So what
Hold
happens
on.
is they see blah, blah, blah.
Give me a second. You want to see my speed reading right here?
Sure.
Okay, let's see if I'm up to par. Okay. The episode begins with Jesse, Petra, and Lucas and Ivar going through numerous portals in the portal network, unsuccessfully trying to find the portal. Leads back to their home after an adventure, a world full of fire and another wreck. The game returns to the network. Lucas catches on fire. That's completely normal. Jesse, tries to help him out on the ground, and, is trying to show Lucas, right in the book, I'm trying to add humor to this, which is why I'm slowing down. So he coins the world Fire World, instead of fucking Hell World like a normal person. So, Petra tries repeated failures, argues with the others, saying that they're not making any progress. Ivar wishes that those who built the portal network left some kind of signs of guideposts. I wish they kind of did too.
Jordan.
Petra becomes frustrated and suggests we go through the redstone portal, thinking the redstone must be smart people who can help them get them home. She complains to Jesse that they've been leading the group
I'm
every
very
time,
sorry,
and she wants to
everybody.
lead them on their own. And depending on the group's conversational choices, you can either make it nice with Petra or upset her. Petra will, stay with the group, or she will run off herself. Either way, Jesse, Lucas, and Ivor gotta go through the portal. After arriving in the Mesa, Lucas continued right in the book, and he claims the book he picked up back at the White Pumpkin's place. The New Order of the Stone spots a road in the sand, it's a sign of civilization. And if you made nice with Petra in the network, she will rush forward and observe the strange zombie, and if you angered her, she will find her observing the strange zombie herself.